Tell me why.
In everybody, we're here. Talk about some Packers. Talk about some other stuff. Who knows? We'll see. Welcome in because of big victory Tuesday for the Packers. You all saw it. You all saw them dominate a good team. Oh my God! But was that good enough for anybody? No. We made excuses. The Titans weren't ready to play in the snow, and the Titans weren't ready to play in the cold, and that's why. Wait. Oh, I mean, how about the Packers just kicked their butts? How about the Packers responded when they came back? How about the Packers defense showed up? How about Aaron Rodgers was awesome? Devontae Adams was awesome. The Packers run game was awesome. How about all of that? But if you listen to national media, not quite good enough, Ben. Oh, we got a lot of excuses for the other teams. Packers have been on this run last year. Oh, what do we hear? They're a fake 13-3 team. They're a fantasy, whatever it is. What were the words they used? I can't remember. Underwhelming 13-3 team last year, right?
Fraudulent
13-3 team last year. And we come into this year, and the Packers kick the crap out of a bunch of teams. They play a couple of close games like a lot of teams do. They lose a couple of games, which pretty much every team does. Yet somehow, coming into this game, well, the Packers have only, look at their record against winning teams, 1-2 against winning teams. So here's the big.
It's now 3-2.
But here's the big test. Tennessee, and they kicked the crap out of them. And then all we hear is, Tennessee just wasn't ready to play. Weren't ready for those conditions, for the snow, and took them a while to get ready, to acclimate. Get out of here. Packers were awesome. They're going to be, a fraudulent number 1 seed this year? Bunch of jerk. I was excited about the game. That was the most complete, best game of the year by far, in my opinion. All phases did well. J.K. Scott even got a tackle. So there you go. Everybody improved for that game.
You know who else improved? You know who improved the most in that game?
Who?
Mike Pettin.
That's right. And Ben.
You know why he was such an improvement? Because he said, hey, I got an idea. to stop the run, instead of putting 6 defensive backs and 1 defensive lineman and 4 linebackers out there, how about if we put 3 defensive linemen and sometimes even 4 defensive linemen on there? There are times where I saw Lancaster, Lowry, Kiki, and Kenny Clark all in the game at the same time. What a thought! Put the big guys in to stop the run. Oh, and he finally did it. And they did a pretty dang good job of stopping the run.
They did.
So are they going to keep doing this? Because they need to do it against the Bears too, which we'll get into probably later on. But as far as this game goes, that was the difference.
So you're saying the main difference is they actually played a 3-4 defense most of the time?
Yes, they actually played a 3-4 defense. But it wasn't just, they did other things too. Because I can remember seeing times, I could see times where there was one time where, like, a couple of plays where Vernon Scott was in deep safety and Savage was playing up around the line of scrimmage, and so was Amos. And then they kind of like switch, and they played a lot of man, they played some zone, and whenever they played zone, it was bad. But then sometimes they played man, it was bad. So it's weird. I went after, of course, I watched the game again. I watched the tape and stuff, and the defense wasn't as good as it looked, or it seemed. Okay, let's just say that. It was that good in the first quarter, though. Like the first quarter, they were good. But as the game went on, they had a harder time stopping Henry, and they didn't quite do the same stuff they were doing in the first half, as far as against the run.
Look, man, I was just
still got pressure on the quarterback though. So
I was just impressed to see him tackle the guy. They tackled. Yeah. That was the best tackling they've done.
Well, hey, I mean, we said it on Friday. If you get him before he gets going, it's easier to bring him down. You know, he for as big and explosive as he is, he doesn't really attack the line of scrimmage like a bowling. You know what I mean? Now, A.J. Dillon does, but Derrick Henry actually doesn't. It's kind of weird. He's a big guy who's 6'3" and 250 pounds. So because he's so tall, he doesn't get as low, right? He kind of still stands. He runs upward. So he doesn't have that same kind of bowling ball feel that A.J. Dillon has, who kind of gets his pads below him and he kind of just plows through dudes. And Derrick Henry doesn't do that. So because of that, the Packers were able to shed a block and make the tackle. How many times? Gary did it a couple times. Kenny Clark did it. Even Za'Darius did it once. Preston Smith did it a couple times. Lancaster did it a couple times. Dean Lowry did it. The guys were shedding the block, making the tackle on Derrick Henry. Heck, I even got a video of Darnell Savage doing it. Darnell Savage shed a block and made a tackle on Derrick Henry. So what does that tell you? Derrick Henry maybe isn't quite as good as everybody thinks he is.
Could he be a fraud?
I think he might be. Oh. I think he might be. Don't quote me on that. I'm people are thinking I'm an idiot, but
all I freaking heard, all these guys talk, this guy who throws grown men around like rag dolls and blah, 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 all Derrick Henry coming into this game. And you listen, I went back and watched some of the nonsense because I was like, what did people say again going into this game? What are all these loudmouths who have a lot more followers than us and are on major networks? What do they say going into this game? Oh my gosh, Derrick Henry. Now, did I expect the Packers defense to stop Derrick Henry the way they did? No.
No, I went back and watched our Friday show, and I got to call you out, brother. You said they were going to lose. You said that they couldn't stop Derrick Henry.
I did.
You said
that's proved wrong.
Packers shouldn't play at home in the cold and in the snow.
That's
they
still true.
Can't afford to do it. No, it's not true, and I'll tell you why. 30
degrees colder in January. It's not going to be the same. 20-something degrees with a little snow. Great. Yes, absolutely. But 30 degrees colder, freezing, frigid January temps, it's not the same field. It's not going to be the same.
I know,
but anyway, that's neither here nor there. We'll figure it out later.
For a second.
Figure it out later.
I know you're all mad because you want to be, thinking that you're right.
I'm not mad,
and the Packers, I don't want to be right. Listen, it comes down to two things. which I don't want to get into at this point, but I'll say it.
Well, I'll say it.
Aaron Rodgers and A.J. Dillon. Those are the two factors in winning playoff games at Lambeau. Is Aaron Rodgers willing to take a back seat to a rookie running back to get to the Super Bowl? That is the question that needs to be answered. Is he willing to do it? Because that's how you win games at Lambeau. You utilize the monster.
You have to.
Utilize the monster. Now, Rodgers still had killer plays on the last scoring drive to Devontae. They weren't great. I mean, the first one was just, I got him on the video. So I got a lot of videos.
All right.
Actually, I only got like 8. I don't have as many as I usually do. What I'm saying is, that's the question as far as like whether the Pack can do well in the cold. It's the same thing with Brett Favre. Brett Favre, NFC Championship game, his last game as a Packer. He just was like, I don't know what he was doing. He was like, let's go home. Let's get out of here. I'm going to throw it over to you guys. You guys just intercept it and then win the game, right?
All right. Let's
I
get
don't
in.
know. But that's just what I'm thinking.
Real quick here. We got a lot of chatters right out of the gate. Hey, everybody. Bernard, Mom and Dad, Ekis, Browner, Bruce, all hanging around.
Woo-hoo!
Thanks for the comments. Bernard says, Rodgers, your 2020 MVP. No debate. I completely agree. And
nothing else you could say now.
I watched some media guys the last 2 days. Oh, boy. Oh, my goodness. And I have to slam a couple of them here. And I might want to do that before we get into the good stuff.
Just do it now because I think you're overreacting to that.
Oh, no. I'm not overreacting.
You're overreacting.
They are wrong. And the problem is they're loudmouths who people hear. And that is the problem. Because a lot of people don't get to watch the whole Packer games like we get to see. And they just see the highlights. And then they listen to these spouters. And they're like, oh, yeah, they know.
A lot of these guys don't watch the whole games either, by the way.
Absolutely.
Because they get up at 5 in the morning or 4 in the morning to do a show, and they don't watch the whole game.
And I know
they just watch the highlights.
I know they always can't. But what I'm saying is this. There's a couple of key points. I got a couple of things to clear up. Now, let me finish the chat real quick here. Packers, 12-3 so far. Could be back-to-back 13-3 seasons. That's insane. That would be awesome. Great win. I didn't check any of the McAfee Rodgers stuff today. I didn't have time for it.
I did.
Hopefully it was good.
It was okay. It was long.
Mike
went
Florio,
on and on and on and on.
Mike Florio is a douchebag again. Like, I don't understand him.
Florio's an idiot.
Mike Florio's argument for saying because Chris Sims was like, well, I think Rodgers put the MVP away after this performance and after Mahomes had a subpar performance, and Florio's like, I don't. And his whole argument is the Packers have to get the 1 seed in order
That's dumb.
Which is is this a player award or is this a team
Didn't
award?
Adrian Peterson win it and the Vikings didn't even make the playoffs that year?
Yes.
When he got 2,000 yards rushing? It doesn't matter. It matters
stupid.
who's the best. Who's the guy with the best stats on a very good team?
Yeah.
That's all that even matters. Unless you break some record like Adrian Peterson did.
I mean, the guy has to, he has to be on a winning team. And if they make the playoffs, great. But like, come on, this is not a team award. That is an individual award. And then the other thing is, well, Patrick Mahomes might throw for 5,000 yards this year. Blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry. Do yards win games or do points win games?
Drew Brees has thrown for 5,000 yards 3 times, and he's never won an MVP. And why? Because he's not an MVP. No matter how many yards you have.
The point is touchdowns.
Points.
Yes,
points
you win by scoring points. You win by scoring touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers has by far the most touchdowns. Oh, and now all of a sudden this year, when I saw the side-by-sides on some of these graphics or some of these programs, it was not passing touchdowns. It was total touchdowns. Total touchdowns.
So now Josh Allen's got 42, right? Because he's got 34 and 8.
Yeah, and I was like, 2016, we didn't seem to account for total touchdowns or all Aaron Rodgers rushing stats or the 24 first downs he ran for that year, plus the 300 plus rushing yards. And I think he had 4 rushing touchdowns that year as well. But that didn't matter. That didn't factor in because Matt Ryan had the, higher quarterback rating and more yards and even a couple less touchdown passes. But but that didn't matter. So get out of here with all your crap. Now, here's a guy who used to be like, I don't know, the trumpeter for Rodgers. Nick Wright said the craziest stuff I ever heard since probably Colin Cowherd's spell.
That guy's an idiot. I don't listen to Nick Wright. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
He's okay. They're talking about the MVP race, and finally, Marshall, these other guys are like, "Oh, well, Aaron Rodgers finally pulled ahead, or just pulled ahead." I'm like, he's been ahead for a while now, but whatever. And Nick Wright says, "This is insane. Aaron Rodgers is stealing the trophy from Patrick Mahomes. This is crazy. Patrick Mahomes is clearly the MVP." I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Aaron Rodgers has played awesome. And Kevin Wildes, the other douchebag on that show, who's an idiot, is like, well, he had that bad game against Tampa Bay, so he's out. Nope, he just can't win it for me, as far as I'm concerned. That's one game. It's a 16-game season. 16 games. One bad game out of 16. And all these other great games, like, you have to look at the whole thing. And don't tell me Patrick Mahomes had all great games either. So get the hell out of here with that argument. And calling the fact that Aaron Rodgers would win over Mahomes insane is exactly what you are being, Nick Wright, in calling it that. So shut it. Lastly, Rodgers is clearly the MVP. Sorry. Lastly, here's a ridiculous. This is one more Rodgers hater, and this is probably another something that Rick sent along. Rick, one of my faves. No, not you. You toolbox. You're not a hater. You're just a overly critical person.
I'm just kind of becoming one.
Overly critical because during an MVP campaign, you've been kind of hard on the guy who's playing awesome. Anyway, Rick sends this along because he saw this clip. Some hot takes. So big, I don't know what this was in, but it was like in a thread from NFL Network, right? So Joe Thomas has got one in here talking about, the Steelers Colts game. Well, MJD, Maurice Jones-Drew. I don't know if you saw this, but I'm going to read it to you. Before the game. Those of you ready to crown Aaron Rodgers the league MVP should think again. In a spectacular Sunday night football performance, Ryan Tannehill steals the show by throwing for 350 yards and 3 touchdowns in a statement victory for the Titans. You can't see it. There you can see it. Maurice Jones-Drew. Maybe you can't see it, but it doesn't matter. That's what he put out. Now, that guy has been a Rodgers hater forever. Clearly always underplays his accomplishments, all this sort of stuff.
What?
I don't know what he's saying there other than the fact that he thought Ryan Tannehill was going to play great and outshine Aaron Rodgers.
So this is before. You need to tell us something.
I said that. I said it was before the game.
Oh, I don't listen to
the game was ever
You
played.
ramble on so long about crap I don't care about. I don't really listen that much. I mean, okay, back to you.
Now, I don't know if it's just they have to say this crazy stuff to offset the love James Jones gives on NFL Network.
Yes.
Maybe that's it. But it's still ridiculous to say that. And on top of it, how disrespectful to not only Aaron Rodgers, but also this Packers defense, who was like, and just plain old dumb. Because were the Titans going to come into Lambeau and say, Ryan Tannehill, throw for 350 yards? No. They're going to try to run Derrick Henry, you moron. All right, I'm done with all that. So what do you guys all think about that? I'm off base. I'm overreacting. Ben always thinks I'm overreacting.
Yeah. Nobody cares about these stupid media guys, dude. Nobody.
I care because they're taking my job.
They're all dumb.
Took my job as a football player. Then they took my job as a media guy. And they can say stuff. People hear it.
They're all dumb.
And then people go, oh, Maurice Jones-Drew said this.
Nobody ever, whatever Maurice Jones-Drew says, there's not a single person in the country who goes, oh, yeah, Maurice Jones-Drew knows what he's talking about.
All right, I got to give you one real quick before you get into the good stuff. Ready?
Am I frozen again?
No, you're Elsa. All right.
But you were frozen.
Look what I got. I got this. It's Hooey IPA it's from Minnesota, Rick, and others who live in Minnesota. Lupulin Brewing Company in Big Lake. Out of Big Lake. Mini. It's pretty
Joey
good.
T, shout out, sighting.
Joey T, what's up?
He is saying that the Bills are going to meet the Packers in the Super Bowl.
That would be something. I would fine with that. I mean, I'm not. I prefer a lesser opponent, but why not? Let's just play it all. We'll just play all the good teams and knock them out. I don't care.
Hey.
10 years. It's been 10 years. This is the year.
This is the year because next year they're going to stink because they've got no money left. But that's besides the point. Are we gonna? Let's talk about. What are we gonna talk about? We talk about the game, or what are we gonna do? Let's talk about the game.
That's all I had to say. I'm just those guys making me nuts.
I think you need to calm down.
On top of the last thing that I just
God Jesus. All right.
Listen, dude, these are football players.
Nobody gives a crap.
Listen to me.
Nobody cares.
I watched some of the stuff, and you know what people said? Oh, the Packers defense just played better. They just played better. They stepped up and they stopped Derrick Henry and they played better. And yes, that's true. But not a single one of those analysts on any of these major shows that are day after, next couple days, talked about the simple fact that the Packers actually played a 3-4, which you pointed out and told me right away. And we noticed. How in the hell are you a person who covers football forever, played football, coached football, and when you're talking about that game, you don't notice the fact that the Packers actually adjusted and played 3 down linemen and played an actual straight up 3-4 most of the time. And that is a big reason why they were effective in stopping the run. How?
Because they don't know anything. And they didn't watch the whole game.
Okay. I'm done.
Listen. The
All
thing
right,
you got to realize.
Let's talk about the game.
People are like, they have a lot of stuff to do. Don't know what the hell's going on. Just like me, I have no idea what's going on with the Bears right now. I heard today they've scored over 30 points in 3 of the last 4 games.
That's true. Jimmy Graham's
I didn't know that
fire.
until I heard it today. I'm like, holy crap! Maybe this game is because I thought it was going to be, the Bears still suck. We roll over them, blah blah blah. That's a little scary. But I'm just saying, because I haven't been paying attention to the damn Bears, because I pay attention to the Packers. Okay. Now, these national media ding-dongs, they have to pay attention to everything and talk their various vague, wide-open crap, and they only talk about the big name players, and they don't talk about anything other than what moves the needle and get people excited about things, either good or bad, one way or the other. So they're not going to, and they don't know that the Packers defense, all they see is, the Packers give up a bunch of points. Except the Packers have a top 10 defense in yards, and they have a top 10 defense, I think, in points now. Or maybe not points, but they got like a good defense. Like all the numbers tell you they have a good defense.
Numbers.
Your eye test tells you.
Well, unless they're not threatened by people going deep like they weren't in this game, then their guys played up and played the short stuff and played aggressive and attacked for the most part.
Which is weird because Tannehill has got he throws deep all the time.
I think because of the snow.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the snow made a huge dip. The field conditions
absolutely
really changed the game. And
absolutely.
As much as I want to say our defense played great and Pet changed, and he did. He did play a 3-4. The guys did get off blocks in the first half. Second half, Henry had 98 yards. It wasn't like he wasn't moving the ball in the second half. He was doing better in the second half. And those 2 drives were at the end of the first half and the start of the second half. They moved the ball. And if the Packers wouldn't have got all those turnovers, Kirksey had a pick that would just threw. He was just standing there, and the guy Tannehill just threw right to him. Come on. Even I could have. Well, I probably would have caught it. I would have dropped it too. But anyways, I'm just saying he didn't do much there. Okay, Savage's pick was better, but what I'm saying is this: weather had a factor. The footing had a factor. Okay, Tennessee didn't know what kind of cleats to use, obviously, and apparently Devontae Adams is like an elf from Lord of the Rings. It doesn't matter what the conditions are. He can move just fine on all conditions because he was juking dudes out of their shorts like he was just playing on like cement or something. It didn't matter. He was like on the back. He was like looking like a point guard on the basketball court, juking guys out of their shorts, and the other guys were like slipping and sliding and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And he was fine.
Yep,
nothing bothered him. AJ Dillon. He had guys diving at him, smacking into him. He still kind of stayed up. He fell down, but he fell forward every time. All righty. I'll take it.
He got going after his first couple carries. The first couple he
He
didn't run
did.
that aggressively, and then he started like
Um,
actually running through stuff. But I know you got plays. I want to get to it. I just want
well,
to
the other thing I want to say,
go ahead.
talk about Aaron Rodgers MVP. I've come around for Aaron Rodgers for MVP because of what he said on Patrick McAfee today.
Oh, okay.
His first thing he said was that he's a huge Star Wars fan.
Woo.
Now, he
You
also
know.
said he hasn't watched The Mandalorian at all. And I'm like, I don't know if you can be a huge Star Wars fan if you haven't watched The Mandalorian yet.
Well,
Because I mean, there
he's
was
a little
a whole,
he's a little busy. He's got stuff.
the first season came out last year. He had all off season with COVID-19, sitting at home
Dude,
doing nothing. He could have watched
he
it
had
anytime
to
he wanted.
drink some Scott. He had to dissect the whole playbook.
I'm just
and
thinking he didn't
reinvent
want to
the
pay for
playbook.
Disney Plus, is what I'm thinking.
That could be
That's
too.
probably why he
That could
hadn't
be
seen it,
too,
because
yeah.
he's too cheap to pay for Disney Plus, which is weird because he makes $1 million. But whatever. Anyways, so because of that, that's why I got my X-Wing on here.
Nice.
So
That's
Aaron
good.
Rodgers, you can now be the MVP. I still don't know if you really deserve it, but I'll say sure because you're a Star Wars fan.
If I was
Okay.
close to you, I'd probably push you right now. Maybe slap you. All right, now let me get
Whatever.
caught up. Let me get caught up in that. Come on, Rogers. Come on. Here's the thing: people are getting hung up on thinking Mahomes is the best player, but he's not playing the best. And Dan Orlovsky said it. It's about time to start talking about the Packers and talking about the best. That they're the best team in the NFC. That Aaron Rodgers is playing the best at quarterback. That they have the best wide receiver. And I undervalued and put down Devontae Adams. I said stuff. He was a possession guy. I said he wasn't worth the money. I said all kinds of stuff earlier. I was wrong. Because he does lack in speed. He does lack in speed sometimes.
And he lacks in tough catches in the middle.
But he makes plays that nobody else is
Sterling
making.
Sharp. Okay.
And he makes catches that a lot of other guys would not make, and that makes a huge impact on the game. So Devontae Adams, is he a perfect wide receiver? No, but nobody's perfect. Is he as dynamic as other guys in the league? No. But of the things he does, a lot of them he does very well. And he knows, I think he said that, knowing what your strengths and your weaknesses are in like his post-game comments, knowing what you're good at and doing that. And he does the stuff he's good at better than anybody. And some of those catches he made, like, come on, man. Dude's awesome. Super valuable to the team. And they need him. And I know everybody says they look at him too much and blah, blah, blah. But look, if he's producing and catching the ball, catching 11 to 12 targets, that's all good. People don't want me to overreact to dumb stuff. Sorry, man. That's me. I got to do it. These media guys piss me off. Let's see. Joey T, how you doing? Everybody wants Packers in the Super Bowl. We're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. I don't know if we're going to roll over the Bears, but we'll see. It all comes down to what the effort's like. But I'm sure the Packers are going to be ready to go. If Hicks is playing, that could be a big adjustment. Eckes points out, and that is true. He's a monster. But I feel pretty good about how the offensive line. The offensive line is one that's interesting because, they keep shuffling it, they keep changing stuff. But regardless of what happens, regardless of injuries or whatever, guys keep playing and guys keep at least getting the job done. So the offensive line as a group, 1 through 8 or so has been really solid. And that's been a huge plus for this team. All right, let's watch some plays. You got some plays?
My video has been acting weird, so I don't know if it's gonna.
Let's give it a shot.
I've been talking, and then you just keep talking right over top of me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But you're frozen to me, which means I'm probably frozen to you, so you don't even hear me talk.
You didn't seem frozen. I'm sorry. Let's just give it a roll. See what happens here.
All right, these are just a couple of defensive safety plays. It's all basically. I just want to show this because it's Amos around the box. He keeps himself open, free, and makes a tackle on Henry. Can't beat that. The other thing I was saying, so when you watch here, when I originally watched this play, I thought there was a lot of double teams. There aren't many double teams. So if he doesn't keep himself, if he doesn't make this play, this could be bad news because there's a hole here and it's massive, 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 massive. And Barnes gets caught up in a wash and he doesn't move. He's waiting. Kenny Clark is kind of getting his butt kicked by one guy. But luckily, Amos is there to make the play. And he made a lot of plays. And he's been doing good, I think, the last 3-4 games.
Yes.
And then this other play is just another safety play. This is the interception by Savage. And the reason why I want to show this is that's kind of cool is he's way back here. So it looks like they're playing kind of like a cover 2 type situation with man or a zone or whatever. It looks kind of like a zone or something weird, right? But it's actually man. And Savage's man is going to be right here in the slot. It's the tight end. And the reason why I'm showing this is because the last couple of weeks, Savage has done a great job covering tight ends. And they need to keep doing that. They need to put him on. They need to put him on whoever the tight end is.
I mean, he's been doing everything better. The thing that stuck out to me in this game with him, he was tackling. Like he was going.
Yeah.
That was the best and most aggressive tackling I've seen out of Savage yet. So I don't know what happened a few weeks ago or whatever, but man, he's playing like 3 steps above where he has been to this point in his career.
Yeah, so just want to watch him. He's going to come down at the last second, and then he sticks with the guy. And this is all man. It's all man with one deep safety back, who's Scott. And he cuts underneath because he knows he's got deep help, and it's genius. You know? A lot of guys would play that differently. They play behind the tight end, worried that they're going to get beat or something. The other part about this is the pressure by Gary. He just bull rushes this left tackle right into Tannehill's face.
Gary was great. He played so well.
Well, I mean, they really highlighted him in the game. I'll say that's another really good thing about the Sunday night broadcast. It's hard for me. It was hard for me to pick plays to choose from the show today because they showed so many replays of things during the game that I thought were really cool because they had so many cool angles that normal games don't have. So you're like, wow, like we already saw this already. Like we saw almost a better view from they had like freaking 12 different camera angles on NBC on Sunday night. So why would I, try to make this wide, far away view when you get a way better view of the play from Sunday Night Football, But that's that. What's your opinions on that? Do you care? I don't know. Just a couple of safety plays. I thought they were cool. I like Savage play on those.
I think it shows you dramatically how much better the defense can perform with good safety play in the middle. And we didn't have good safety play for many, many years. And then we had subpar safety play here last year and early this year. And for whatever reason, finally, I don't know if the guys, got more unleashed by Pettin or he started letting them be more aggressive or, I know he's doing some different things by bringing Amos in the box more and blitzing Savage a couple times, which he did early on, which was great blitz call and all that stuff. But they're performing and they're impacting the game more. And if you get that out of your safeties, those are guys in the middle that can get in on a lot of plays. That makes a huge difference for a defense. Same thing with inside backers, which, we got better ones in there most of the time now. We still got one.
Ty Summers needs to be out there. I mean, and he showed at the end of the game when he was in there.
He
was flying around making plays all over the place.
The coverage on the back. I'm like, there he is. He's in for what? 3 plays? There he is again. God.
But I will say this in this game. This is a play from a couple plays from the first quarter, second quarter, I think. On this play it was just a combination of these 3 guys just being awesome. You got Dean Lowry, who's the yellow. You've got Gary, who's the red. And then Martin is the orange. And Martin attacks this play. He totally whiffs on it. But because he attacked it, he messed up a bunch of stuff so that Gary could make the play. And Dean Lowry is the guy who holds his fort, which pushes Henry to the outside and allows Gary to make the tackle. So when you watch this, watch how you can see Martin come crashing through, and then Gary's going to make the tackle. But, Martin misses him, but he at least gets in there and kind of slows him down. Like that's the only good thing. Like I was saying that on Friday, like if Martin he sometimes attacks and misses or takes the wrong hole or whatever he does, But it's one of those things where because he did attack, you're going to see this left tackle who looks like he's supposed to go out and help double team on Gary. He thinks the tight end has got Gary, so he lets him go and then tries to come back and get Martin. But Martin is shooting that gap so fast, there's no way that the tackle comes anywhere near him. So this tackle blocks nobody. And then you'll see Lowry take on this guy and kind of hold his fort, kind of push him back a little bit. And Gary just shoves the tight end over and makes a tackle. And Martin streaks through, and of course he misses, but he messes up. Watch this left tackle. Don't worry about all these other guys. Left tackle goes over here. And then after you watch left tackle, then watch Gary make the tackle. So watch him, then watch Gary shed the block. And it's all because Martin attacks. So even though Martin didn't make the play, because he's aggressive, it led to a good play by Gary. So you see this tackle, he's out here double teaming. Okay, he doesn't need my help. I'll come back here. Oh, wait, there's no way I'm going to get there. And that forces Henry outside, right in, and floods it right into Gary, who makes a tackle. But those three guys are kind of worked in tandem together. It wasn't just one guy shooting the gap and making the play. It was three guys working together to stop Henry from getting going, which is awesome. It's one of the things you'll see. Here's another 3-4 again.
Yeah, I like it.
This is another running play. Now, this was actually a bad play by the defensive line. The reason why I'm showing it is because Savage is the guy who makes the tackle on this, even though he's getting held. He gets off the hold, and you can't see it from this angle, but when you watch from the other angle, you'll see how the wide receiver is holding him really bad. And the reason why I have all these blue is because Gary gets trapped. He goes inside for some reason. I don't know why. He doesn't hold the edge. The whole game, I saw a lot of plays where Preston Smith is holding, like he doesn't attack. He holds the spot. He knows to wait. And even Z did a good job of keeping his head up and watching the backfield in this game, which he usually doesn't do. But he was doing a great job. And this is the one time where Gary kind of got a little aggressive and shot inside. And all these guys shoot inside, and Martin shoots inside. And these guys in the offensive line and all these guys over here just kind of shield the wall. And that leaves Kevin King to try to tackle Henry, and you know that's not happening. But luckily, Savage gets off the block. And you'll see that Savage is there with this yellow circle. And this 15, watch him hold him. He grabs the shoulder pads right here. He pulls them toward him. That's holding. That should have been holding on 15. They didn't call it. And Cam King goes low, totally whiffs, doesn't wrap him up like an idiot. That's why King needs to be gone. But Savage gets off the hold and makes the tackle. Can you imagine if Savage would not have gotten off that hold? I mean, Henry would have been gone forever because he would have had to start getting his groove on, right? And King's got to go. That's another thing. But whatever. I'm sick of King.
Could have been
he needs to not be around anymore.
Could have been Dequois by now if they would have left him on the team. All right, I got some things in the chat to catch up with. Interesting question posed by one Mr. Eckes because of the dramatic improvement of defense and defense getting better here in recent weeks. You know, Eckes asks if Pettin should stick around.
No. Listen, if it takes you this long, this is what this game proved is the Packers have the players to do the right scheme. He chose to not do that for almost 2 full seasons. I mean, what is up with that? And he chose to not change, even in the NFC Championship game where they were getting killed. He still did a 4 defensive lineman, which had 2 linebackers on it, and didn't bring in the guys off the bench, and didn't bring in Ty Summers just to change it up to get a guy who's fast out there instead of Blake Martinez. Didn't change it up. And this is the first time he decides to do it, and I think it's Pettin, or I think it's LaFleur who went in there and was like, dude, can you put some big guys in there, please? And I honestly think that's what happened. So, no, I don't believe that. No, Pettin should go. I don't care. They win a Super Bowl. Let his contract go. I think he's only under contract for the end of this year, so they'd have to sign him back again. I just let him go. And I'm sure LaFleur's got some buddies who run a scheme that he likes better, who will be more aggressive and not play off all the damn time and do stupid stuff. I mean, aggressive wins. We watched the Jaguars, the Panthers, Tampa Bay play aggressive. Did they screw up sometimes? Yeah, they did. Did they leave guys open sometimes? Yeah, they did. But sometimes, because you're aggressive, the quarterback doesn't see it. Even Aaron Rodgers missed guys that were open because they had so much pressure on him and so much aggressive play. Aggressive play wins all the time. What do
I
you
mean,
think?
defense, you gotta be aggressive. You gotta be smart at times, but you also, for the most part, schematically, you need to be aggressive, especially with attacking and tackling. I mean, if you're passive tackling, you just forget it. What's the point? You're just going to get chewed up and eaten up. A lot of people getting excited and feeling really confident about us beating the Bears this week to finish it off. But I don't want to get into that quite yet. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are excited about it. We'll talk more about that on Friday. We'll examine the Bears. Apparently, Jimmy Graham has been playing lights out. I guess I don't know what that looks like, but that's what I've heard. Heard rumors, rumblings. Of course, that was on some of those national media outlets, so they don't. I've already told you they don't know what they're saying. So who the hell knows? But Eckes is thinking the playoffs decide for him. I don't know. I mean, I agree. I don't understand Mike Pettin. I don't understand what he's doing. I think you could get other coaches. And it's clear with all this stuff, like we've talked about many times, how much money and draft picks and all that stuff that's invested in the defensive side of the ball. If Unless the talent evaluations were that far off on everything, those guys should be playing better. And then maybe it's the approach or the scheme, or you're asking them to do too many complicated things and making them think too much, which is, causing them to not be aggressive and pausing. But, the other thing I would love to see is Ty Summers on the field, but I don't know if we'll get that.
Right. And he doesn't even mention him. So that's the other thing.
I know.
Listen, I'm done with him.
All right.
I'm done with him, but I'm just saying, like,
Patton's out.
one game does not change two full seasons of crap. Okay. If that was the case, then Kevin King would be a super Pro Bowler from one game, and he's not. He stinks.
Well, and his first year with the Packers, everybody wanted to get rid of Dom Capers forever, and they finally did, and they got Pettin. Was he that much of an upgrade that year? No.
No, but
But
there's
everybody
bad
said, "Oh,
before
it's the
that.
first year. It's the first year in the system. Everybody's learning, so you give them a pass and all that." And what we've seen since that first year is it's not working. So unless you just get out of what you like to do, which is apparently what he likes to do, which is add the extra D back, run a lot of 4-man lines with 2 inside guys and 2 backers, and you go to base 3-4 and you're that much more effective against stopping the run, which has been your main problem. It doesn't seem like the answer was that hard.
Well, also you have to understand that Tennessee doesn't run a lot of cool stunts and plays and stuff,
Right.
which is weird because they run a similar system to what the Packers run. They don't do as much moving around, on the offensive line and that kind of. It's pretty much just go forward and block your guy and hope that you get in the way. But whatever. I just want to show this play. This is Kenny Clark. It's just too awesome not to show. So just want. I mean, and I've been hard on Kenny Clark this year, and I'm actually going to be hard on the very next video I play. But for this one, we'll watch the yellow arrow. That's Kenny Clark. He just destroys this. There's a double team on him. Neither of the guys even touch him. It's crazy. It's crazy. Look at that. Oh, jeez. It's
Nice.
nuts. I mean, it is. I mean, wow. And the coolest part about this is not only does Kenny Clark beat this double team, Dean Lowry beats this double team. So both of them do the same exact move, and they both beat double teams. The problem with Dean Lowry is this tight end goes and helps out over here because Za'Darius doesn't do anything on the play. But it doesn't matter because Kenny Clark gets his butt back there. Now, if he would not have beat the double team, this would have been a huge run.
Yeah,
So we got a lot.
This looks like a favorable defensive front to run against. You got 6 for 6. 6 for 6, and one of them is a safety in there, Amos.
It is really it's a really bad. I mean, with Henry on this side, the play is probably going here. And right now you just got Barnes in the middle, Kenny Clark here, and Preston here. I mean, this I see a double team, seal block, Henry through the gap, Barnes missed the tackle. This could have been a huge play. But because Kenny Clark is so gets off the ball so fast, it's not even close. You can see both Kenny and Dean Lowry do the same move, and they beat both of their guys, both double teams. It's just nuts. It's a great play by both these guys. Look at this. They both beat the double team. Both of them. It's nuts. Can you imagine? I mean, if they wouldn't have, though, like I said, if they wouldn't have beat that double team, they would have totally that play would have gone for a touchdown. So it's just one of those things where you're like, man, I mean, it's great to see him take a shot like that. See Kenny Clark dominate, but then you're like, man, if he would not have gotten back there and made the play, that would have been god awfully bad, right?
Yeah.
So, and Kenny Clark did a good job against the run for most of the game. Problem is he's a liability in the pass rush. And this is I'm going to show one more defense play. Then I'm done with defense plays.
Hey, LaFleur mentioned Kiki this week.
Yeah, he did. Well, Kiki's good against the pass, not as good against the run. So that's that'll tell you why. This is a play where how I said, and Shannon Sullivan was one of my favorite guys, but man, he can't cover tight ends. He just gets beat up. The tight end runs right into him, knocks him around, and then where Savage for some reason is quick enough to get around the guy. Shannon he isn't. He just can't hold up against the tight end. And this is the touchdown play. And you'll see Shannon be hit right here. Boom, boom, boom. You can't stay with him. Low pass, touchdown. I mean, he's with him, but he's not aware of where the ball is. He can't get his head around. It's just not good there. Now, here's the other thing that happens. Titans did their scouting. They double team Kiki on this pass play because they know the center and the right guard double team Kiki. Everybody else is single blocks. Z, of course, tries to push it to the outside. Kenny Clark gets his butt kicked by the right guard, which lets Tannehill move up in the pocket and throw that touchdown pass. And it's crazy to me that Kenny Clark could beat a double team on a run play, and then this play, it looks like he doesn't even do anything. Watch. No, I'm serious. Watch him. And but watch how terrible he is. He's not. What is he doing?
He's just tired.
Yeah, he's tired. So then get him the hell out of there. Put somebody in there who's actually good or who's not tired. Because that was a long drive. That was the scoring drive at the end of the first half.
Yeah.
So why have his big, slow butt in there if he's not going to do anything? He's the reason why that was a touchdown. Shannon had good coverage. That was a low pass. You know what I mean? He did the best he could on that with no help safety over the top, nothing. That was all one-on-ones, no help. And Kenny Clark stunk on that play. And Kenny Clark got the highest grade by that, what's his face, Andy Herman guy again. Kenny Clark has the high. I mean, okay, because he had that, and he talked about that play that I just showed before, like where he beat the double team, and he's like, Kenny Clark beats the double team, and gravity floop. Oh my gosh, high rating. Oh. I'm like, okay, but if he would have missed, that would have been a huge run. On this play, he got his butt kicked by one freaking guy. No, he's okay. He's good sometimes. He can be played sparingly. He needs to not be in there that much. Every now and again, 2 plays, get his ass out, put somebody else in because he can't hold up. Okay, period. End of story. Boom. He also gave Shannon a bad grade because of that play. But he had good coverage on that play. And he can't cover tight ends as good. So stop putting Shannon on tight ends. Put Savage on tight ends because he's good against tight ends.
How about Ty Summers
on wide receivers? Where Ty Summers is good against tight ends too. Yes.
Hey, Lee just got here, I think, and he chimes in. Sullivan used to play on the outside when King was hurt, he thinks, and he thinks he played far better there. Look, slot corner is rough. Slot corner is tough because you got to guard.
Yeah.
Usually quick, twitchy receivers, and you got to go against tight ends. And on top of it, they have more field to work with, two-way goes a lot of times. Usually there's interference. So slot corner is way more difficult than playing outside corner, which is kind of weird to me that they always emphasize, the outside corners so much and like put the best guys on the outside. I don't quite get it. But look, Shannon Sullivan does a pretty good job at it. He's struggled. He's had some ups and downs in recent weeks, but he's still really solid. And, he knows what he's doing. Is he Micah Hyde? No, but nobody's going to be as good as Micah Hyde was in the slot. So,
and that's
where it is.
But the thing is, this game, I just like watching the game. I was like, oh, the defense is kicking butt. And then I watched the all 22 and it's not as good as I thought. Okay.
Right.
Now the pressure was good at times. We did get some turnover. Tannehill made some dumb. I mean, I got to knock him out of my top 10 because good God, he's getting pressure and he's just throwing it right at Christian Kirksey. He's throwing it right to Jarnell Savage and he drops it. Like, what are you doing? I mean, it's not like he's even like, what is he looking at? It's nuts. So But don't get me wrong. The pass rush was good. They played great against the run in the first half. I like the scheme where they had more defensive linemen in the game. I thought the safeties did good around the box. I thought Martin and Barnes did pretty good. They got to keep doing it though against the Bears, right? Okay, that's good. I'm okay with the defense, but like I said, Pettine, this one game does not make me say bring him back. That's all I'm saying.
I wouldn't say the defense is good, but I'd say they're good enough right now.
Yeah,
And
with this offense,
that's all we need. That's all we need. If the Packers offense can do what they want to do, be efficient and effective and execute, because it's a different type of offense than some of these other splashier, flashier offenses that you're seeing. Is it all these crazy big plays and all this stuff all the time? No. But is it always just dink and dunk? No. It's like a mixture of stuff. But what it is really high quality execution. And LaFleur talked about that. Rodgers has talked about it. Other guys have, and that's what they need. And that's super effective because it shows, like if defenses are adjusting to take away a certain thing or gang up against the run or really play pass more, they have the ability and they've shown the ability to counter that and kind of take, exploit the defense's weaknesses. So as long as they keep doing that, whatever it is, and LaFleur was asked about that too, and he gave that answer saying, sometimes from week to week things are going to be different. It's going to be partly based on the way people are playing us and what we want to, what we can exploit. But they do that. They adjust. And a big part of that, now a lot of people don't want to give him credit for this, but a big part of that is Rodgers making that decision about what to do, what plays out of the, they have like 2 or 3 plays called and him getting them and making adjustments and figuring out, okay, here's what the defense is doing. This is going to give us the best play. And he does a great job of that. Does an awesome job of that. So
he does a good job.
Okay.
He does a good job.
You can't be right all the time, dude. And sometimes they're disguising stuff. But what I'm saying is he's getting them in the right plays. A couple times they get caught, but everybody does. And I like the balance. Like they had that first drive. It was like 4 runs, 5 passes. Love that balance because it makes everything easier. But the run has to work and be effective in order for that to take place.
All right. Everybody's talking about Aaron. Bernard is saying he would be mad if they don't sign if they let Jones go.
How did you feel?
Bruce is saying the offense is different without Jones.
Yeah. What about you with the big breakout of AJ Dillon? Now everybody's going to be on that one game, but everybody's like, hey, we don't need Jones anymore. Look at this. Not everybody, but some people.
Here's the thing I've said a million times. I love Aaron Jones. He is my favorite Packer, period. However, Aaron Jones is a better dome running back than a grass running back. He's still good on the grass, don't get me wrong. But when he's on turf, he is a monster because his cuts, his agility, his quick acceleration really shows up and he can dominate. And which is, we're guaranteed at least 2 dome games a year because we play the Lions and the Vikings. But most of the time, 8 games of the year, we're playing on grass and we're playing in the cold and the snow and the wind and all these other things. Listen, when we drafted AJ Dillon, if people want to go back and look at the stuff, I went and I looked at all the video of AJ Dillon. I talked about him. I went nuts about how the guy against 8 men in the box averages 3.4 yards a carry. He has over 64% of his yards are after contact in college, and he did that the other day. His yards after contact in that game on Sunday night were nuts. And as much as I love Jones, and I would love to have him back, I love Jones more where he can go to a team that will actually use him and let him be the dominant player that he is. Because this team does not let him be the player that he is. And I don't usually agree with Corey Banke from Pecker Transplants and Cheesehead TV. But he said something last night. He said, if LaFleur gave Jones the amount of touches that Devontae Adams has, comparatively wide receiver to running back, he's like we would be 16-0 every year, or at least this year. And I agree. If Aaron Jones got the ball as much as Devontae gets forced the ball, yes, we would not lose a game because Aaron Jones is that damn good. Okay? But for this team and this play calling team and this quarterback who has to be the center of everything.
Oh, stop.
And has to steal all the touchdowns instead of just letting Jonesy get them. Like last year, Jones got touchdowns and Rodgers, and everybody's like, well, Rodgers didn't have that good a year. Rodgers had a great year last year. Well, yeah, good year.
He played very well.
But because his touchdowns were down, everybody's like, oh, that's not that many touchdowns for Aaron Rodgers. Well, Jones got all touchdowns. Why? Because he's freaking awesome. And this year, Jones gets him down there, and then Rodgers steals all the touchdowns with his quick pass to Devontae.
Well,
Bobby.
Hey, including Brian Gutekunst started all those media people say all that stuff too, and so much so that he wasted a 4th-round pick and traded up and drafted a quarterback and wasted another pick.
Okay, listen.
So maybe Rodgers like, I don't want.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about Aaron Jones.
All right.
What I'm saying is this. Because I love Aaron Jones as a person, I think he's an awesome guy. I think he's a great player. And I would rather have him be a Packer. But for him as a player, I'd rather have him get paid for as good of a player as he is and go to a team that will use him to dominate. So as much as it hurt me to watch him go, I think A.J. Dillon actually fits this offense and Matt LaFleur's system better at times in Lambeau, especially at the end of the year. And I think they need to use A.J. Dillon if they're in the playoffs in Lambeau and they got the number 1 seed and they're at home. They need to use him. Because on 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, Aaron Jones is a great guy and he's squirty, but when the guys in front of him can't block anybody, he doesn't get the first down. A.J. Dillon, there's a play on 3rd and 3, he got 6 yards. And the blocking wasn't good. He just rammed right into everybody. He just went and just ran like it was like, woohoo! And that's what you need with this team. You know?
At
and
times.
the fact
now a lot of people are saying they want to see Jones and Dillon next year.
Yes, but
do you think
let me ask all you guys in the comments a question. Let's say we sign Aaron Jones back next year. Do you think to get him back, we're going to probably have to give him at least $10 million a year? And now that Rosenhaus is his agent, it's probably going to be $12 million a year. So if they give him all that money, first of all, we're going to have to cut a bunch of dudes, which might be good, right, Bruce? Bruce knows. But do you honestly think they're going to give him enough targets and carries to match a $10 to $12 million a year running back? Is he going to get the same type of touches as Cook and Kamara in the passing game and Henry and Ezekiel Elliott and all these in Christian McCaffrey, who is the center point of a whole team? He won't, and that's why the Packers won't sign him because they don't give him the ball. LaFleur said it today in yesterday's press conference because they were asking him about what's it like having 3 running backs that you can count on, and he's like, "It's awesome. I love having 3 running backs I can count on. It's great. It's the greatest thing in the world. I love having 3 running backs I can count on.
I don't have to worry about who's in there," he said.
Oh, well, he never does worry about that.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to throw you off.
Call plays for certain guys. But what I'm saying is, no, you're good. But as much as, like I said, I love Jones. He's my favorite Packer, and it's going to suck because we lose another awesome 33, but it's going to happen. And part of me, it kind of wants it to happen because I want to see him go somewhere where they're going to use him as the main guy. And then he just destroys everybody. And then they'll look back and be like, man, we should have kept him. Yeah. But not only should we have kept him, we should have used him. We had him for 4 years. McCarthy was too stupid to ever give him the ball.
Yeah.
And all the fans were clamoring for it. Still wouldn't do it. And then finally last year they did it, sort of. And then this year they kind of do it. But then they're like, nah, whatever. Let's get Jamal Williams in there for an entire series or 2 in a row. The other thing is this. If they sign back Jamal Williams and not Aaron Jones, I will be mad because that would be the dumbest thing ever. Because A.J. Dillon needs to be the man if Jones is gone. Excuse me. What do you think?
Just remember Dillon, openly talked about this too. he really had a rough bout with COVID and had to get back into shape after. I mean, he struggled with that, and he was outside of the team's framework for I think about 5 weeks before he really got back into practicing. So, that hit him hard. He bounced back. He's coming back. But there were times in this game too where LaFleur said he was looking for him in there, and they said he was on the sideline because he needed a breather. Well, that could still be kind of after effects and fatigue from getting through that thing. So, um, you hope that continues to get better and better endurance and all those things as he moves forward. But you do need to spell him. He's a big guy. He ran hard. Uh, I I love Aaron Jones
I
too.
like.
You're right, but there could be other ways to use Jones if they get creative, like they
Well,
did.
they haven't. Even Lee
I
just
know,
mentioned it
I
in the
know,
comments.
I
He
know.
just mentioned where's the passes downfield to Aaron
Right?
Jones like we had last year. There aren't any.
Yeah, I mean
They're
the
all
kids.
dump offs. They're stupid sit off. He just the safety valve dump off. Rogers almost killed him yesterday or Sunday, where he threw it late. The guy smacked him in the back. A terrible pass, and then Jones got hurt, and that's the whole reason why he couldn't come back in.
That
Because
Kansas
Rogers
City
freaking did something stupid.
that Kansas City game last year was, I mean, a showcase of how they could use him, and then they just decided to be like, that worked great. Let's not do it again. Like what?
Yeah, and what happened after that? Devontae came back. That's my other question, everybody.
It doesn't matter.
Aaron Rodgers had 25 passes, and 12 of those passes, half of them went to Devontae Adams. That is a problem. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody like Devontae Adams is the greatest thing in the world. He is good. I'm not saying he's not good, but Tennessee's defense is crap. What happens when we play a good defense and a good team in the playoffs? They're going to take him away. What's Rodgers going to do? What's he going to do then? Is he going to be able to figure out what's going on? Or is he going to keep forcing it over there like a ding dong? That's what scares me. I don't know.
Don't be scared about it.
Why not?
I think because they'll adjust.
When was the last time a team had one guy and they went and did something in the playoffs? Honestly, when was the last time like a one awesome receiver, okay, on your team? You have nobody else, and not only that, you just kept forcing it to him and forcing it to him and forcing it to him, and he had all these catches. When was the last time a guy with all these catches, okay, and was the focal point of your offense was a wide receiver and you won in the playoffs? Tell me.
I'm not sure.
That's right.
Not sure.
You can't think of it because it doesn't exist. The teams that win the playoffs are teams that use everybody.
Right. Well, they need to, and Lazard needs to be a part of it, and obviously Tunyon, and they got to work. But I think a big part of it, MVS, Browner brings up MVS. Look, MVS is still doing what his role is, which is he's blocking on plays, and he's stretching the defense. Stretching the defense so those other pass plays can be open, so those other guys can get open underneath. So it's interesting. Lee brings up if you give Jones the contract, you might not be able to re-sign Devontae next year because you probably don't have the money.
You don't have any money.
I mean, it's tough. It's tough. But that's all of these things, what they illustrate and what they really illustrate well is that this has to be the year. Okay, it's been 10 years. 10 years. Super Bowl 45 was the last time. 2010 was the last time the Packers made the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl. This has to be the year. I don't care how it gets done. If it's going to be Lambeau Field in January, then they're going to have to have to be a throwback to 2010, where late in the year they break out the rookie running back who didn't play all year, and he helps them win. James Starks did it in 2010. Maybe it's A.J. Dillon this year. The other thing that's in common to those guys is they were both Northeast guys. Yeah. So they both grew up in the snowy, cold weather. So you actually have a running back like James Starks was in 2010 and A.J. Dillon that knows how to play in that stuff, who grew up playing in that stuff.
And he talks about that in the interviews after the game.
Right. And on top of it, you have a couple other pieces, guys that played in the snow and cold weather. Kamal Martin growing up in Minnesota and other people. So there's a few more pieces on this Packer team that didn't come from the South or the West Coast, which makes me believe that they can be more successful in the cold temps if it gets to that. But maybe it's going to be a revisit of 2010 where you utilize that rookie running back more down the stretch. He becomes a focal point of the offense when you need him. And if the game dictates, Aaron Rodgers needs to take over, he does. But I think they gotta keep, if they're gonna be in Lambeau, they gotta use Dillon a lot more. Jones is still a super huge part. Williams, I could do without him, but whatever. He
He's
does
got
some
to
things.
go.
He's fine
No,
to have in
no.
once in a while, but like he should
Listen,
be
okay,
third
it's time to
option.
get into AJ Dillon. It's
Yeah.
time to get into AJ Dillon
All right, let's do it.
because here we go. This is his first drive that he was in.
All right.
And he had his first couple runs were like no yards, 1 yard, 1 yard, no yards. And then it was a good pass to Devontae. And then it was like no yards, no yards, a good pass to Devontae. And then finally he had this run for 6 yards. And he just kind of like ran over dudes. And you're going to watch here, 49 is going to come across. He's supposed to get 51 on a block, but he can't get around Rick Wagner. So if 51 shoots this, he gets there to make a play on Dillon. Dillon just breaks his tackle and falls forward for a 6-yard gain. I mean, that's just awesome. He's a big dude. So you see 49's coming. He can't quite get around Wagner. He doesn't get the block. 51 grabs Dillon right there. You think he should be tackled there? Nope. He's still going. And he's pulling guys with him because he's a monster. That's what he can do for this team on this type of surface. And I think he could do it all year long.
I don't think he'd be nearly as effective in domes, but
No, he wouldn't.
right.
But are you willing to pay $12 million to pay Jonesy for 3 games in the dome out of your 16 games?
Yeah.
I mean, I love it. Aaron Jones is my favorite player, but I understand the thought. Now, this is just a play because I got to give Rodgers some love for once. He did something that I never thought he would do. He catches the ball and he throws it right away. 1, 2, 3, throw the ball to the open guy. The play is supposed to go to Lazard for the first down. They need this. It's 2nd and 10. Or maybe it wasn't first down, but it's dang close to first down. And he does it. Boom. Watch him. You catch it, look over there, throw it over to Lazard. First down. Catch it, look, throw, boom. Run the offense. It's beautiful. Especially when you see it's man coverage and the guy's only got one guy to beat. Of course, Lazard can beat that guy to the outside. So that was just something I just threw in there just for fun. But now we're back to A.J. Dillon. This play, he just runs this way. He gets some good blocks. He gets a good block from Alan Lazard. And this guy here, purple, Lazard runs right past him and lets him go, which is awesome because he takes the safety because he's like, okay, this corner is not going to tackle A.J. Dillon. Well, he does kind of tackle him, but A.J. Dillon still gets 8 yards after it. But Lazard gets the block up here, and he just lets this corner go. Dillon runs through that, boom, almost first down on 2nd and 10. And he just uses his size. He makes a couple cuts. He doesn't really move. He moves pretty quick, and he's aggressive. There he goes. Boom. Make that guy miss. Still fall forward 5 more yards. That's good stuff. It's simple, but it moves the chains. And then that allows Rodgers to be the big plays like this in the passing game. On this play, because you just watched Dillon run all over him, they got all these guys in the box. They got 1 safety deep. You got 2 receivers out here, and Lazard sneaks in here. Okay? Lazard's route's going to take him like this, but it doesn't matter because these guys are all worried about A.J. Dillon because it's 3rd and 1. They're all worried about A.J. Dillon getting that first down because they pounded it with him over and over again. And the only other thing you have to worry about is Devontae, right? So this safety is cheating over to Devontae, and that leaves St. Brown wide open to get to this outside corner because this guy can't stick with him in the snow. Because St. Brown knows where he's going. This guy doesn't know where he's going. And after that, it's just all smooth sailing up here. Rodgers finds him, touchdown. And it's all because all these guys in the box are worried about A.J. Dillon. Beautiful. Magnificent. Can't get much better than that. And Lazard there were a lot of times in the game where Lazard came in and blocked on that. He come in and then block. And that was one where he went out in the pattern. But it's a good play. And it's set up because they could run the ball. And they pounded. So I don't know. I mean, I love Aaron Jones. He's my favorite guy. But I also am a huge fan of running backs.
You
And
are.
everybody knows I love Dorsey Levens. And A.J. Dillon is kind of like a Dorsey Levens. He was even bigger than Dorsey Levens. He's even a bigger Dorsey Levens.
Well, there's a couple of things here. A couple of things. Um, you know, Dad says Rodgers is a better quarterback when Adams is hurt because he utilizes all his receivers. So that
Yes, I
goes
agree.
back to if you sign Jones and you can't sign Adams, is that really that bad a thing? Which is more important? I think Adams probably has more productive years left than Jones does, but because Jones has been so underutilized and underused in his first 4 years, maybe he will have another
Yeah.
4 years of production.
You think Adams is going to keep it up for 4 more years after this? This is his 7th year in the league.
He's 28. He's 28. So
Jordy was done at 32. Now he did tore his ACL and all that. That slowed him down a lot, and that was the problem.
Yep. So I'm not sure on that. I think it's probably going to be pretty even, but if you could find a way to get both of them, the thing is, offense in the NFL, especially, is so much about the pieces, right? Do you have dynamic pieces you can do stuff with? A lot of times that comes.
No, it's not.
A lot of times that comes from a tight end. That also helps you kind of create mismatches. Well, you want to create mismatches. So if you utilize Jones the way you should, by put him in the slot, doing different things with him in the receiving game, do you need to have that many more dynamic receivers? You probably don't. Could you draft receivers that could then fill in and play the roles, whatever? Probably. So I don't know. I think I'm in the camp of trying to get both those guys to stay on the team for a while, so you can really keep the offense cooking and then mix in Dillon. Now Lee says Williams can stay. You need 2 good backs, and he won't demand as much money as Jones, and of course he won't because he's not nearly as valuable. But he's also not nearly as effective. Like, he's solid. Jamal Williams does some things well. He's serviceable, but he's not going to break runs for you. He's not going to do anything special. He's not going to make some of these big play runs that Jones has made.
Jones is a game breaker.
It changes the game. Yeah, it changes the game.
And A.J. Dillon's a game breaker too. He proved it on Sunday. Matter of fact, hey, guess what? Let's take a look at some A.J. Dillon being a game breaker. Watch this play. Gosh, dude. I'm sorry. Look at him. It makes my heart happy. Now,
you love running backs.
From this view, watch this view. This is Tunyon is the man. Tunyon gets a seal block. But look at our $20 million left tackle on this running play. Just watch him. He has to get 51 up here, okay? Because Jenke takes care of this guy. Baki's got to come up, take care of 51. Let's just watch how good he does at that. Our $20 million left tackle. And I know you're going to say, we don't pay him to run block. Well, look at that.
He's
clearly right in front of him.
Ooh,
it ain't that hard. He got schooled. But AJ Dillon doesn't matter. He's like, I'll get through that guy. And I'll run over this freaking guy. And then after that, I'll run over another guy. And then I'll run over some more guys. I'm AJ Dillon. And that's the thing. Both AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones are perfect for this team. You know why? Because the offensive line does not run block very well. That's true. Both of them can make up for the fact that the offensive line stinks. Look at that one. Look at that play. He met 2 guys, ran through the middle of them, and carried another guy. So he carried 3 guys for 4 more yards after the contact.
That was at least a good line surge on this one.
Well, it wasn't a good line surge. What it was Tunyon with the seal block, and then Lazard with the block. That's what makes this play work.
Lazard's really, really good blocker.
Watch this. Man. And look at this cut by Dillon. He does a couple shuffle cuts, and then he takes out. He's 2 guys he's got to beat. He beats them both. He just goes right through
laying on the ground again.
5 guys had to tackle him. 5 guys had to tackle him on that play.
Can I see that back one more time? I want to see Bakhtiari's on that play.
You don't want to see Bakhtiari in running.
I do. I want to see what we spent a bunch of money on here. Let's see it.
Pretty good.
This is a run play. Well, let's see. Really good.
He's holding.
Why is he looking like he's past black? Getting it? Whoa, wow. Okay.
He got, but let's not worry about him.
I'm glad it wasn't a pass play. He just got run over there.
Oh, dude, come on now.
They gave him lots of
$20
money.
million. That's why we can't sign back Aaron Jones, just so you know, everybody.
He needs to be a dominant offensive lineman, not just.
All right. And here's the big touchdown. Watch Lazard. He's coming in motion. He gets the outside seal block. Dillon makes a cut, breaks a tackle,
Good cut.
breaks another tackle. He would have scored on a 70-yard run on that play. Because I'll show you one more thing on this play. Hold on, I'm gonna go back. Watch the free safety in the back. He doesn't want any part of him. No, watch him. He's just like jogging over here. He's like, yeah, I know I'm not gonna get in the way of that guy. Just watch this guy right here. Don't even watch the run anymore. Watch him. He comes up and he's like, oh no, this guy. Forget it. I was wrong. He did try to get him. I'm totally wrong. Don't listen to me. I'm an idiot. Right, but I want you to watch here though. Watch Dillon's cut. It's almost exactly the same as the last play. So this time instead of Tunyon here, you got Big Dog. But look at him. He does a double cut inside. That was kind of cool. Cuts back out. Gathers himself. This is 4th and 1. He does a good job of getting kind of skinny, even though he's a big, wide guy. And then he can break tackles and run through dudes and freaking destroy stuff. I mean, he's perfect for this type of surface. Lambeau Field, in the cold, in the snow. I mean, he's a lot better. You remember how Edgar Bennett was a mudder, right? He was perfect in the mud, but that was about it, right? A.J. Dillon he's everything. He's a guy who's perfect everywhere. In Lambeau, that is. I'd still take Aaron Jones too. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Aaron Jones, like I said, but I was excited when they drafted A.J. Dillon, and I kind of knew. I told everybody that it was going to be the end for Aaron Jones, but there's not much you can do there. You know?
I guess worries about Dillon's, battering ram guy staying healthy, and that's true. But I mean, all backs have those issues. Being a running back sucks. I mean, let's be true about it. It's like you get the ball and a bunch of guys are trying to hit you and tackle you. It's not like receivers catching the ball most of the time. Most of the time they get like one guy or maybe two guys trying to tackle them. Quarterbacks get a rough gig. Used to be a rough gig. Now it's not too bad. But running backs, that's a crappy gig. You get the ball and everybody's trying to get you, and all you can do is run with it. So
Eckes is bringing up Jordy Nelson. That after we cut Jordy Nelson, our offense stink.
Yeah,
it wasn't because of Jordy Nelson being cut. I mean, it was because Rodgers didn't have his security blanket that he always looked for. Now he has that again in Devontae. It's not the player. It's Rodgers is the problem because he looks to these guys instead of running the system. And he said something on Pat McAfee today. He said that previously, before the LaFleur system, the McCarthy system was based on matchups.
Win your one-on-one
matchups. Which receiver had the best matchup against a corner or whatever? He said that today in Pat McAfee. And now he says it's not about matchups, it's about scheme. So because it's about scheme, it's no longer, I believe, it's no longer about Devontae or whatever. But as long as Rodgers is a quarterback, it's still about Devontae. Because Rodgers will still look to him to do things. Now, with this particular team and with this start quarterback, that's how we have to win games. And I got one more thing to show you here. Because it's just too dang awesome not to show. This is Rodgers doing the classic, what he did last week against Carolina, but this time it works. And why? Because Malcolm Butler, for some reason, is over here. And look at Devontae's over here, and there's nobody in front of him. And Butler's like, crap, I better get over there. So Butler runs all the way over there. He's 10 yards off, so Rodgers just jumps it over there. And then what does Devontae do? He takes off for 20-some yards. That was a running play, but it didn't matter. Because Butler didn't even know what the heck was going on that play. And Devontae killed it. It was beautiful. And then the Packers ran on first down, got nothing. Ran on second down, got nothing. So then it was third down and 10 again. And this time, you got Malcolm Butler playing tight on Devontae. So what does Rodgers do this time? He changes the play from a slant to a go route. And Devontae makes the incredible catch that he made, which was awesome. I mean, that was perfect coverage by Butler. It was a perfect pass, an amazing catch,
Great celebration.
great celebration. I mean, it was awesome. And that's why, like,
They brought everybody in this one too. It was like what, three
oh
guys
yeah,
in the
it
blitz?
was pure, and it was nuts. Dylan did a good job picking up the blitz there, by the way, too.
Why did
I
Jenkins
mean,
miss his block? What the heck? Come on, Jenkins.
Jenkins, sometimes I don't think he's as good as everybody says he is. I gotta be honest, but I don't want to be down. I don't want to bring that up right now.
That's a crazy play. That's
It was,
crazy.
dude. I gotta tell you, and as much as like Devontae, like I said, I don't think he's no Sterling Sharp, but man, does he make some incredible catches sometimes. I mean, he does some incredible things with the ball. And as long as Rodgers is the quarterback, we need Devontae. Okay. So if Rodgers is okay, and this is for you, Jace. This is the 1-2 punch of AJ Dillon and Lukey Patrick, which looks bad because Lukey Patrick can stand up here. He's like, he didn't do anything. Oh, maybe that was Corey Linsley who did it.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Watch that. No, it was 92. Watch 92. Look at that. Lukey double teams, smack. Watch this. Watch Dillon. See ya! Dude, he hit him at the 5-yard line, dude. He hit a defensive lineman at the 5-yard line, plowed over him, and scored a touchdown from the 5-yard line. Let's watch that again.
Do you wish
I don't think people realize
like
Eddie Lacy was never that good.
I know.
Eddie Lacy like was never, ever, ever that good. And I don't want to hear anybody say otherwise because he was not. Why is this not working for me?
It went back a little bit further.
No,
That's right. Watch that great catch by Devontae again. Hey, I was kind of mad. Let's watch it.
Here it is. Just watch this. The 5-yard line. Actually, it's before the 5-yard. It's a 6-yard line. No, it's the 5-yard line. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that power. And then he just keeps going. And then he leans over the top. Dude, that was 5 yards. He destroyed a defensive lineman. And when you watch the game, it just looked like, oh, he got in there and he made it. How did he get in there? He got in there. Oh, awesome. Dude, he freaking destroyed that freaking defensive lineman. Are you kidding me? Oh, my God. Listen, I love Aaron Jones. Everybody knows that. But as anybody knows, when I play basketball, I like to elbow some dudes. I like to knock over some dudes. You know, I like Aaron Jones. I love Aaron Jones. But I'm starting to love me some AJ Dillon. I know it's one game. I'm not saying he can be the superstar. But when it comes to, can you pay a guy that much money to not use him properly? No. For his own sake, I'd rather have him go somewhere else and be a dominant player.
I agree. I mean, it sucks to lose him because I think he's a chess piece in the offense that makes them so much more explosive and dynamic. But if they're not going to use him much, or if this is the way they want to go with feeding Dylan the ball more, then it's one of those things. Yeah, like what's the point of spending that much money on a guy that you're going to underuse? It doesn't make sense. What
else we got?
My favorite guy.
Lukey Patrick got screwed in this game.
I don't understand. Somebody tell me. Like, I understand Lucas Patrick. Hey, the Bucks won big, good tonight because they had an up and down start so far. But go Bucks. All right, now you all know my favorite guy, Lukey Patrick. I haven't gotten a Packer jersey since Doug Evans, and I thought about getting a Lucas Patrick jersey. And I know he had a rough game. I know he got bowled over by a first-round pick from Carolina. I know it was a rough game for him. But for some reason, Lucas Patrick has a rough game, and he's out of the starting lineup for this team. Whereas Billy Turner can play like absolute trash
all the time.
They just stick him in a new spot. And they're like, here, let's play right guard instead. Or you can play right tackle now instead or whatever. And he keeps getting to play. And it took a Rick Wagner injury for my man Lukey to get back on the field. And I'm sorry, like, does not the body of work mean anything? Does not the guy's effort, the fact that Billy Turner like tags the guy for a second usually and stops blocking versus a guy that sticks with the play and continues to block until the whistle's blown or after the whistle sometimes. Like, wouldn't you rather have that guy in the field? Like, I just don't get it. I don't understand the double standard there. I don't get it. It's the same position group, same coach, right? Same coach who coaches the O-line who's evaluating these guys. And one guy has trashy games, and we just keep sticking him out there no matter what. The other guy gets his butt kicked on some plays in one game, including a play where he basically got his head wrenched back, and that's why he got driven all the way back in Aaron Rodgers right away.
But it didn't matter because Bakhtiari didn't even touch his guy. He was supposed to block in that play.
And all of a sudden he's out of the lineman or out of the lineup. I don't understand. I don't understand. And I have a big problem with it, not just because he's my favorite guy, but because it doesn't appear that players are being given the same opportunities based on their performance, or they're not being graded the same. Seems like there's some favoritism, or certain players are being differently than others, and that is highly disappointing. I understand.
Ty Summers should be out there.
Nah,
I think Josh Jackson should be out there instead of Kevin King.
Agreed.
Because he'll tackle. He might hold every now and again, but let's face it, the refs haven't been calling defensive holding the last two games.
He's a lot closer in covering guys than King is too. Like he's not even close to guys.
I don't know why Jackson can't see the field anymore. Because he seemed to be making plays. There was a stretch there where it was Jackson and Ty Summers making plays all over the place when those guys were all hurt and whatever. And then they bring the other guys, they get healthy, and King comes back in the lineup, and what does he do? Nothing.
He makes a tackle once in a while, but otherwise.
And Chris Barnes, I like Chris Barnes, but he doesn't attack like Martin does, and he doesn't have the speed of Ty Summers.
Mm-hmm.
And after watching the game back, Barnes really didn't he wasn't really a difference maker in this game. A lot of the reasons why Henry got stopped was because defensive linemen got off blocks and kept their eyes on the backfield and made the play, or outside linebackers. It wasn't Chris Barnes who was making the play, and he wasn't covering guys in the secondary either. As far as on pass plays, he was back there, but he didn't do much. And then all of a sudden, Ty Summers comes in at the end of the game, and he's all over the place making plays with the second team. And maybe, okay, it's against secondary players, but I don't know. I agree with you 100%. Lukey Patrick has one bad game, and they sit him down. Ty Summers plays great. Other guys get back from being injured, and he doesn't see the field. Josh Jackson tackles and is aggressive, where Kevin King doesn't even wrap up at all and can't cover anybody, but he's out there all the time. I don't know. I don't get it. The defense has got some issues as far as starting the right guys, which is why I don't want Benton back again. Get somebody who'll start the right guys. And I agree. Lukey Patrick got screwed. I don't know what the heck's going on with that. And I think there's a double standard. I'm really getting sick of the double standard because all I hear all the time from Rodgers and LaFleur is, oh, big dog, and he's such a great guy, and
big dog,
big leader, and Billy Turner is he's a fashion designer, and all this kind of crap. Okay, that's great. He's a great fashion designer. Big dog is great at giving a speech. Okay. They miss a lot of blocks. They make a lot of dumb moves on plays. Okay. Yet they keep getting the play all the time.
Bruce thinks Bach, Runyon, Jenkins, Patrick, and Turner are the best offensive line unless Wagner, unless we get a right tackle to replace Turner.
Is he talking next year? Because Corey Linsley is better than
I don't know.
Jenkins at center right now.
That must be it. That must be what he's thinking. They're talking some off-season stuff. Yeah, I mean, look, I'll give Lindsey, and I've been hard on Linsley in the past. Linsley has grown into being a really solid center. I don't think he's number one center in the league like Pro Football Focus does, but I do think he's become a really good center.
Yeah.
And I like him there. Look, you got Runyon you can plug in. You got, again, this thing with Billy Turner, we've talked about it, and he's been better than he has when he was horrible. But should he still be playing over guys like Patrick or Runyon? Even I just don't understand it. I really don't. I I
It
I don't get it. I don't get it. But
until it costs them a game, okay, which I believe it has cost them games already, but they won't admit it and look at the tape and see it. But until it costs them a game where Billy Turner, which is weird. I mean, Billy, go back and watch the NFC Championship game. Billy Turner was so bad in that NFC Championship game.
and he's a good dude. And he's a cool dude. I get it.
I know, but
and
he
he's
can't play right.
smart.
He's way better at right tackle. He's a right guard. I'll give him that. He's way better at right tackle. But I think we need to get off the negative stuff and get on to the positive stuff.
All right, I got one.
I'm starting to feel bad because
I got a positive here for
you.
you.
They're freaking 12 and 3, dude. 12 and 3.
Here's a positive for you. You ready?
Yeah.
My man got a couple plays and he flashes because that's what he does. Watch this. He's right here in the middle. Right there. Watch him.
Oh, you got the Ty Summers plays?
Oh! You see that? He
Coverage.
doesn't mess
That was a wide
around.
receiver.
He
That was a
doesn't
wide receiver.
mess
That was a wide receiver.
around. He's Ty Summers, and he does not mess around.
I don't get it.
He sees the play, and he attacks the play, and he's super fast.
That sounds like a pretty good player to play to me.
I mean, here's what I'm going to say about that. If they see the Saints, if they see the Buccaneers, and they see the Saints, they see these old quarterbacks that want to dump it off short.
Yes.
Ty Summers needs to be in the game because he will see that short stuff and whoosh, go get it. Christian Kirksey, you know what he's going to be doing? He's going to be hanging out, wait for him to catch it, maybe run after him, fall down, not tackle him. Like, come on, man. The guy got in for 3 plays or whatever, and he made a play.
He made 2 plays.
Yeah. Come on.
Out of 3.
Give me. I asked for it for Christmas. You didn't give it to me.
Well, they did. They gave you the last 3 plays.
How is that guy not good enough to be on the field? Get him out there. Give me 44. Give me more 28. Give me more 33. Let's do it. This has got to be the Packers' year. They need to do it. Super Bowl 55. I don't care if it's against the Chiefs. I don't care if it's against the Bills. I don't care who it's against. Let's go get it.
Bottom line is this team can do it.
They have to.
From Sunday night, they showed if they play defensive linemen against the run, hey, they can stop the run. If they get their secondary is ball hawks. I mean, they get their hands on balls, they break plays up, and they play pretty good in man coverage. I don't know why they play zone so much because they seem to suck at zone. But man, they're pretty good at man. Plus, when they play man, that allows their pass rush a better chance of getting to the quarterback because the quarterback has to hang on to the ball longer because the guy's not open. But when they play that stupid zone, they're sitting back and waiting for something to happen, and the quarterback just gets the ball, looks, oh, okay, boom, he's open. So the man coverage allows the pass rush to get there. It just works in tandem. I mean, I don't understand why they don't do more man. You know? I mean, if you got a big lead, fine, then play zone because you don't want to give a big play. But, like, I think they can – if you give up one big play for a touchdown, but you stop, like, 3 or 4 drives because you're playing man coverage and you get sacks and turnovers and all kinds of crazy crap because you're awesome that way, let's do that. And they keep doing that. They're good on defense. I mean, I think I'm starting to come around thinking that it wasn't the players. I mean, a little bit. Middle linebackers are issue. But I'm thinking that maybe they know, like, you got Jair Alexander. I can play man coverage with that dude. It ain't that hard.
Savage is playing better. You got, you know who else you got? You got Ty Summers. Put him on the field. Let's go. 44.
I ain't going to do that.
I'm going to call for it until they do it. King is a liability. More base, and then more tight coverage. Let's go.
Yeah. And then the only issue with this team is special teams. And it's not necessarily, I mean,
why can't Mason make extra points? Like what?
I don't know what to do with it.
He hasn't missed a field goal all year, but he's missed 3 extra points. Like what?
And I'll say, you know, the Jones play where he stepped out of bounds. Rodgers confirmed that today on Pat McAfee that LaFleur, you know how they have that 15-second window of giving them the play call. Yeah. LaFleur, as soon as it opened, LaFleur's like, because it was like happened right in front of LaFleur. So LaFleur saw Jones step out of bounds. He's like, just get us into a play and snap that ball now as fast as you can. And that's why, like, remember they were showing the replay, and all of a sudden the Packers are already running the play right away.
Yep.
So props to LaFleur for being smart enough to don't even mess around trying to call a play. Just telling Rodgers, just call something and run a play and just do it.
Right.
Because we can't go. Like, that was a huge play of the game because that was after they scored at halftime going in, and they scored coming out of halftime, the Titans. And that was the first possession after the Titans scored, and they were only up, what was it, 19-14 or whatever, right?
Yep.
And that was first and 10. It was the first play that they got the ball back in the third quarter.
That was a great
yards.
run by Jones that no one else on the team would have made because it was all bottled up in the inside. And then he jumped outside, and then he went down the sideline. And people are oh my God, Al and the TV crew, oh my God, we had to make a big deal out of this. I'm like, guess what? They scored a touchdown anyway. They're going to score a touchdown anyway. So just shut up and move on. Because the Packers weren't.
Well, I don't know if they were going to listen.
They
I don't know if they
weren't
were going to
messing around anymore, dude.
They were on the ropes. They were on the ropes, dude.
Yeah, but the only reason the game got close is because the Titans had the last possession of the first half and the first possession of the second half. That's it. That's the only reason the game got close. Because the Packers didn't get a possession in there. If they got once they got
after
a possession,
they scored.
Once they got a possession again, what happened? Hey, score some more points. Here we go.
Yeah, but they also needed the Kirksey interception and some other stuff. Hey, look at this. Hey, look at this. Hey, look at this.
Is this where is this J.K. Scott's tackle? Oh, okay, never mind.
No.
Okay.
It's Aaron Jones, baby. It's Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones run of the week.
Stepped out right there.
He was close. He did a good job. The weird part is the official's looking right at that, and he steps in the line. You're like, we're good. It's Aaron Jones. It's Aaron Jones. It's good.
A lot of people are concerned. Look at Bakhtiari. He's actually blocking over here. Jenkins is getting thrown.
Billy Turner's getting a block. Billy Turner. Woo!
Billy Turner's sort of blocking. It's not good posture at all. I don't know what he's doing there. He's just kind of hanging out. But Lazard had the seal block on the outside. Lazard was the guy who turned that into. That would have been probably a 10-yard run. Lazard turned that into a 50-yard run. Lazard, I'll tell you this, and he had a lot of key blocks in this game.
Yeah, he's
in the running game for Dillon and for Jones.
They got to get him.
He's just the man. He's just the man. But I love Aaron Jones, man. God dang, this sucks.
You should love Allen Lazard.
I love Aaron Jones and I love AJ Dillon. This is hard. This is the first time I've ever, I've had two loves in my life at running back. And I don't know what to do. Because, in the old days when it was Edgar, Dorsey, well, I'm taking Dorsey all day.
All right, Bruce is saying some crazy stuff. He wants Mahomes. What? He wants Jair on Hill all day. No. Look, Jair is not great against speedy guys.
No.
Jair is super effective in this type of game where it's a little colder and it slows people down a little bit because he's not the fastest, but he does break on the ball well, and he does have good instincts, and he's physical. So, but you put him against a super speed guy, he's not – he's not a shutdown corner against super speed guys. That would be ugly. So,
yeah, I don't know if I like that either.
I'm not sure about that. I do want to see Brady come to town.
No, Bernard, I don't love him either.
I want to see Ben. God dang it, you're such a jerk.
I guess don't say stuff like that. I'm not. I love them both. I've said it. Listen,
Ben loves Ryan Grant. He loves any Packers running back.
I like.
You like
no, I don't like. I never liked Eddie Lacy.
That's
never.
True. For some reason, you didn't like Amon Green, who was one of the best. But
I don't like Amon Green either. Couldn't stand him.
So weird. You're so selective. You're so selective with your guys that you actually like.
I didn't like Edgar Bennett that much either.
Man,
I did like Vince Workman.
It's working. What about Keith Woodside? You liked him.
I like Keith Woodside. I also sort of like Travis Jervey, but only for Eckes because he loved Travis Jervey. And then
he was one of my.
I love Daryl Thompson. It's so just weird. He was not tiny, those tiny little legs.
He wasn't even good.
All you got to do is knock him over his top body and fall over because he couldn't. His little legs couldn't hold up. His super heavy up, and his shoulder pads were like that. Was back when the running backs wore those giant, like, do you remember Dorsey's? Yeah. Giant shoulder pad. Those guys that wear those humongous giant shoulder pads.
Did you like James Starks though?
I did like James Starks. He was good.
Okay, that's good. James Starks was really good. He just couldn't stay healthy.
I like Sam Gatto too. Sam Gatto.
Gatto.
I liked. I He was
Like
okay.
all those guys, but
LaShawn,
not Amon
was,
Green.
was that LaShawn Jack Johnson or what was his name?
No,
42. He was a speedster.
I don't remember.
I did
Yeah,
not like
LaShawn
Najee
Johnson.
Davenport. I wasn't a Najee Davenport guy.
No, damn, Eckes liked him. You know that.
Yeah, because Eckes doesn't know anything. Who are
Yeah.
Eckes' favorite running backs? Najee Davenport and Travis Jervey. I mean, he doesn't know anything about running backs.
That's because there was some poop story about Davenport. That's
Ooh,
why
Eddie
liked
Lee
it, so.
Ivory. Yeah, Eddie Lee Ivory.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a little before my time. I don't know if I really paid attention to the Packers back then.
Yeah, but
Back then,
anyway,
all I knew was Paul Kaufman and John Jefferson was my favorite guy back then. I also like wide receiver, like the 5th and 6th wide receiver on a team.
yeah, not
Terry
the stud.
Mickens,
Not the stud.
Aubrey Matthews.
But you should like Alan Lazard on this team.
Well, I don't think Alan Lazard's gonna be on the team next year.
Oh,
Okay, are we gonna get this Bear game, dude? It's almost 9:15. What's
no,
the
we
Bears
can't
game?
get this.
What are we doing?
Friday night for the Bears game. Friday night.
Friday night is New Year's Day. We ain't doing a Friday night, are we?
What are you talking about? Saturday night then. We got Saturday
We
night.
ain't doing Saturday night. Are you kidding me?
Saturday afternoon. I don't care.
Listen, all I know is we did one episode last week and it got 100 views.
Did it? We always get.
Yeah, we got to go back to one episode. 2 episodes is too many episodes.
No, I'm fine with that. I got too much going on. You want to cut it down?
Let's just
we got
talk
to be
about
more
the Bears
concise then. Bears. All right.
Now,
Bears still
playoffs.
suck.
Playoffs. Maybe we'll do like a real in depth. When they win, we'll go real in depth in it, and then we'll really talk about the next game, like the day before Friday or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's important. But this Bears game, if they lose, they're still in the playoffs. Who cares?
Right.
But I mean, I want them to win. I want to beat the Bears and knock them out, not have them be in the playoffs.
This goes back to 2010. It's another 2010 deja vu where the Packers were fighting to get into the playoffs, and the Bears were there, and they're like, we got to keep these bums out of the playoffs, and they didn't do it. And look what happened. Packers made them pay. So the Packers got to keep these bums out of the playoffs. Not that I'm worried about the Bears making them pay, but still got to do it just because it's the Bears.
Does anybody in the comments know what's going on? Like I said, the Bears have scored 30-plus points in 3 of the last 4 games.
I told you, Jimmy Graham
something's going on.
Jimmy Graham is fired up. Jimmy Graham.
They've been saying that
Montgomery,
they've been saying he's been running good. But
he's been a monster. So
I mean, as long as we don't have Kirksey out there, we're good.
Bruce said it earlier. Play a bunch of 3-4 base. Do the same approach. Make Trubisky beat you. That's what they're talking about, and that makes a lot of sense. So let's do it.
Wildman Dude just solved my love affair issues. He said just put Jones and Dillon in the backfield at the same time.
There you go.
Yeah, that's right, dude. You are
just
the man.
That's
that's why your wisdom is genius wisdom from my dad.
It's just like when you couldn't split between, Dorsey and William Henderson and just put them in the backfield at the same time. Made you happy?
No, never. That was the worst. Never put William Henderson in the backfield with Dorsey. That screwed up everything. They brought another guy in the box. That's the other thing. Could you imagine? Could you imagine AJ Dillon in a 4 wide receiver set and give him the ball in a 4 wide receiver set?
Sure, why not?
With like
the Packers don't play
6
for
defensive backs. Who gives a crap? With Alan Lazard blocking?
Yep, I like Lazard.
And then you just run like, oh my God, he would just kill everybody. That's what I want to see.
So that's
what I want to see.
Here's the story with the Bears. They played Houston, Jacksonville, and Detroit. That's why they're on such a hot streak.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you, Eckes. That helps me understand.
So, those aren't great defenses. Minnesota, they lost to, yeah. All right. You want to give some scores? What do you think?
Yeah.
We're not going to do another show because it's New Year's Eve. You're going to be all drunk anyway, wasted.
Hey. Yeah, we're good.
Celebrating getting rid of 2020 like most of us will be. Lee thinks it's Packers 31, Bears 17. Anybody else got some score predictions for this one? You know how I love those, but you give them anyway because that's part of the gig. We'll deal with it.
I think it's going to be. I think it'll be 30. About that, like I'll say 34 to 17. Because I think the Packers are going to be smart. They're going to play 3 down, 3 defensive linemen.
Play some base.
They're going to stop Montgomery, and Montgomery doesn't have top-notch speed. The only thing that might get him is Soldier Field's, field is like crappy and stuff.
A lot of times it's crazy windy down there too, which can mess up the pass
Oh,
game.
no, yeah. Aaron Rodgers, he'll say the wind will hurt him. Man. It's
Well,
Aaron
it
Rodgers.
can mess up the pass game, so they might
Aaron
be
Rodgers, oh, it's the wind.
they
It's
might
never his
be
fault. It's the
running.
wind. We didn't
Dude,
prepare.
cut it out. He's older now. He can't cut the ball through the wind like he used to. So cut it out. Now, let's see.
Hey, when you get older, you're supposed to be easier to cut the wind.
No, you can't.
That's what Dad says.
You can release things into the wind.
Yeah, that's what he said. Well, man, do it. He's like, hey, sometimes it's easier
cut the
to let the wind.
cheese, dude.
Cut the cheese.
Cut the cheese. Hey, did you happen to see AJ Dillon's shirt? He said it yes, said the sauce, and it was a cheese.
Do you know why?
It should be the cheese sauce.
You know why they call
That's
it?
That's what he's got to go to.
He found out today at Pat McAfee.
Why?
Because apparently he likes applesauce. That's why they call him the sauce.
That's it.
That's it.
That's
not anything. It's not nearly. It is. That's like. And then Pat McAfee's like, "Oh, like what kind of applesauce? You like Mott's?" And then Dylan's like, "Well, I mean, that's one of them." And then Pat McAfee's like, very smart. You don't want to get tied down just so you can get another, a deal with the applesauce companies. And Dylan's like, "Yep." That was a good interview. You should check that out. AJ Dillon on Pat McAfee today. It was pretty good.
I will check it out. You want, guys? Here's one thing before I get into my score, which is the reason the Packers played such a great game and won is right here. This sweatshirt. I got a new sweatshirt and I wore it. Oh. I wore it for the game, and apparently it brings the Packers good luck.
I wear my Titletown game
sweatshirt. It's not the fact that Eckes hasn't shaved his, Oh,
that's we can talk about that. Bruce and Eckes are not going to shave until the Packers lose another game. So my hope is that they don't lose another game until like next season, so that they got to have like these beards that are like down to like their guts, and they look like homeless dudes, big scraggly old beards. That's what I want to see. Eckes and Bruce, and then we'll have them on. We'll have them on the show in the pregame to get ready for the opening game of the year next year, and their beards will be down to their gut because the Packers don't lose anymore. That's what I want.
Well, that's what they're hoping for, too. We got Bernard, 42-21, Packers. Bruce says 38-20, Packers. Eckes, 31-24, Packers. He has not shaved anything. Oh, Bruce hasn't shaved any areas, he said, and he won't until the Packers win the Super Bowl.
Oh, no, Dad you can't say that either.
Oh, that's true.
Because in his text it said, "I'm not shaving until the Packers lose a game," and I was like, "Okay, well, I guess you're gonna be looking like a homeless guy." He didn't say, "I'm not gonna shave until after they win the Super Bowl." He said, "I'm not gonna shave until the Packers lose a game," which means Bruce is gonna have a beard down to his gut if the Packers win the Super Bowl. And Eckes was like, "I'm not gonna do it either," because they're together. So I'm like, "Okay, you two morons are gonna have super long beards." That's just all it is to it.
You guys better find a good divorce lawyer. All right. I'm just playing. I'm just kidding. But your wives might shave that off in the middle of the night when you're sleeping in case it gets really scraggly. Dad says I'm as bad with the superstitious as Mom. Hey, Mom, what did I tell you? I got this sweatshirt for Christmas. I was like, I'm wearing it tonight. The Packers played like crap last week, and I'm wearing it tonight. They played the best game of the year. The only thing that was different, the only thing is the same team, same players, same Lambeau Field, against an even better opponent. What was different? This sweatshirt. I rest my case.
I shaved on Sunday instead of being lazy. So maybe I should shave every Sunday.
That would be something new for you.
See, but like on the picture, I'm going back to the beards again. The picture of Bruce and Eckes' beards, they have like hardly any white or gray in their beards. Where me, the whole entire damn thing is white. So I gotta shave.
Oh man, I don't know if this is a good show or not, but it was fun.
I don't know. Right. Hey, the Packers are freaking 12-3. They're gonna beat the Bears. They're gonna be 13-3 for 2 years in a row. They're gonna be the number 1 seed. They're gonna have a bye. They're gonna win all the games. Bruce and Eckes are gonna have beards down to their guts. It's gonna be awesome. What is better? What is better? Nothing.
I'm gonna say Packers 28, Bears 21.
Oh. One more thing we forgot to mention.
Yep.
HFF. You blew it. You freaking blew it. You let Mo win. HFF. the first inaugural season with the freaking trophies, which we're not going to tell about. Ekis, keep your mouth shut. Nico, shh, nothing. But then we won't have to do it with trophies. Now, I kept up my bargain. I beat Travis, so I won the toilet bowl one. But you screwed up. You screwed up. And Derrick Henry didn't even score a touchdown.
You're right.
And Mo still beat you.
I thought it wasn't going to be even close.
And
but
tell everybody what you did. Tell everybody what you did.
I will tell you. I'll tell you the lesson I learned. The lesson I learned, which I blame on all of you, especially you, Ben. But a bunch of the people on this show and chat on this show and have been on this show is that I lost faith in Mike McCarthy. And if I had just kept the faith in the Mick and started the Red Rocket at quarterback, I would be the HFF 2020 champion. So I blame all of you for making me lose the faith in Mike McCarthy. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. McCarthy magic always happens. And if I would have just gone with McCarthy, I would be champion, just like the Packers were back 10 years ago.
But what else did you do? You started Mariota, who didn't even play.
Because Derek Carr,
quarterback in the championship game, who didn't even play. And then you were like, yeah, I didn't have time to go and look at it. You're in the championship game. You make time to go look at it. That is
supposed
egregious.
To play. He was supposed to play.
Egregious.
He was supposed to play. Derek Carr hurt his groin the week before and only scored 2.5 points. So I figured, that groin must be so bad you couldn't come back in the game that he wasn't going to play the next week. And then game time, Gruden with holding him under wrap. He wouldn't tell anybody. All of a sudden, game time decision, Carr gets the start. And it was too late for me to change it. But then Mo says, if you want to switch in old man Breeze, that would be fine, before we knew the final scores and everything. I'm like, well, actually, I was going to start Andy Dalton instead. And if he had said okay to that, I would have ended up winning. But then once I said to him that, he didn't respond with, that would be fine for you to put Dalton in, because Dalton was already having a good game. But that was what I was going to do anyway. If Mariota wasn't going to go, I was going to throw the Red Rocket in there. And he scored over 40 points this week not because he's good, but because of McCarthy magic. And I lost my faith in Mike. And I blame all of you. And you cost me the HFF championship because you put down McCarthy. Mike McCarthy. Best Packers.
If the Dallas Cowboys win the NFC East, they could still do it.
They could.
Good God. I don't know how they could.
And the only thing you'll say is, and that just adds to Mike McCarthy's Hall of Fame coaching career, another division title, another playoff appearance. Mike McCarthy magic.
All right. Okay. We're rambling on about weird crap nobody cares about. All right. I'm going to say,
get your score up.
Bears still suck. Happy New Year to everybody. Bernard, Lee, all the guys. Mom, Dad. Ekis, Browner, I think he's gone.
Browner didn't leave yet.
Rick, Nick, Balaz, he was talking. I don't know if you looked at his stuff. He was talking about
I didn't see
a couple different things.
We'll have to get to him. We'll have to get to him next time. Bruce says
he keeps saying that. That poor guy. Don't be mad at Balaz. You're the man.
You are the man.
He's the
You're
man.
the European connection. He is the man. Now,
and with the Bucks starting, we got to have Nick on, talk about some Buck stuff once in a while.
Yep. Now, again, the game plan for beating the Bears is the same one you just did.
Yep.
Stop the run, make the quarterback do stuff,
and run at Khalil Mack.
Embrace your inner Megan Trainer, and be all about that base.
And double team Hicks because he's playing in this game. Double team Hicks.
Definitely do that. Yep.
Don't let Lukey Patrick take him out one-on-one like he did with Brown. He'll get killed.
Don't have Billy Turner at guard against Hicks.
Don't have Billy Turner at guard either. Yeah.
Put him out at tackle or something.
Yes.
Or
yes.
Maybe the bench. I mean, just a thought. Anyway,
I want to see AJ Dillon run into Hicks and knock him over like he did to that guy. Yeah. Okay.
It'll be wild to see. All right. Anyway, enjoy your New Year's. Be safe. Stay well. Packers, go Pack, go. Let's see if we can get to 13-3 and bring this all to Lambeau and make everybody freeze their butts off just to play football. All right. Take care. Talk to you next week.